Hello you guys. I wanted to add something to that video what I did yesterday about the nature of the reality, just because I forgot on some stuff that I forgot to mention. I mean, if you didn't watch the first part, then I highly suggest you watch it. But I wanted to as well add a couple of, I want to clarify a couple of things. And this is one here about a pickup. I don't want anyone to think that he's gonna sit on the couch and wait that someone is gonna save us. That's not what I meant with this part in here. Nobody is saving us, all right? The idea is to finding all the parts of yourself, all the fragments of your consciousness that you lost in the game, that you can actually operate more in this sphere, closer to the higher states, like higher vibrational. I don't like to use those terms, but I have to use some terms, right? That it doesn't really matter what you're in, like your state of being matters, because once you are more happy with whatever you have, whatever challenge you're going through, and like when we have the challenges, the way I approach it usually is like, wow, look at the shit I'm like playing in. And I'm like, wow, look, I didn't even know that I invested so much of my time and energy, like and you have to laugh as well. You have to have a sense of humor, because like, consider I'm 45 years old, and most of my life I went through suffering. So it's like, oh, thank you very much that I came here to suffer. But it's not that we came here to suffer. Because I said something that, oh yeah, thank you, we came here to suffer, and then we have to go to work, which we don't like, to earn the money, to pay for the roof above the head in a construct that is fucking toxic. All right? But you have to look on it with the sense of humor, as well. We are wrapping things up. So we're not gonna be living what you are seeing in the world. We're not gonna be living in it, because practically what is going on in the world, I am not seeing it. I don't even know there was any pandemic, honestly. It's like my reality at the moment, even though I'm still deconstructing certain things in here, I'm still have to still we're looking on the limitations and fears. We all have those. Let's say for me, I don't have a fear of that, obviously, because I already made it to here. A little bit outside of the construct. It's not out. I don't think this is actually outside of the construct. I think it's still within the construct. But this is not a flat plane. This is not a flat earth like everyone is saying. It's more like this, where infinite possibilities exists. There is multidimensional spaces. There are different type of earths. So you can be experiencing a whole different type of earth in under this umbrella, and then here you've got all the dark influences that are practically coming and interfering with the realm one, with the darkest part of it. 3D was a big mess. This is all contained in here. So I don't want anyone thinking about it. Oh, we're gonna be sitting in here in having a full body anxiety, depression, and have no money, being in the lack and taking money from the government, and who knows what, and then waiting when something is gonna pick us up. That's not what I meant. We all have our individual paths and individual construct. So a lot of the young starseeds that came in as a new souls, and they did not get so much damaged in here, have the advantage of the fact that they can easier recognize that this is not them, that this is a pattern from my mom, this is my pattern from my dad. I can see past this year especially, we are doing we are going through this mother father gene I call it. Oh, that was the arrogance of my father. Or that was this is the victimhood of my mother. I constantly seeing these aspects playing in front of me, or I am start, suddenly I pity myself, or a poor me, oh, this is a pattern of my mother, the victimhood which I inherited, which is in the genes, in my genes. I'm wearing the skirt though. I started wearing the skirt though. I'm not having those jeans anymore. Well, you know what I mean? It's not the young starseeds having the advantage of like seeing through the bullshit. So that's good. The starseeds that were recycled here for so many years and lifetimes and the lifetimes and the lifetimes, that they are being tired. I'm tired too, because 40 years of suffering is 40 years of suffering. I went through all these the woundedness, like rejection and abandonment and emotional abuse and you name it. I think the list is quite long. So who cares? That's gone. You don't need it. And if you really set those boundaries, what I told you in this video around this, because AI is amplifying whatever is going on in your head, all the limitations and all the thoughts and thought patterns which we are having, which we were programmed to believe to be true about us. But you just have to catch yourself how you are labeling things and how you are playing in those limitations that are actually not even yours. There is a cultural, there is a transgenerational, all the ancestors bullshit thing what we are constantly playing in and recycling. Oh yeah, ancestors are my ancestors. They help me, they save me. Bullshit. You are a very powerful being which has the same power like any type of extraterrestrial living on a spacecraft. You have exactly the same powers what they have. The only difference is that you are having now a little bit of like a human experience, but you are a very powerful being, very powerful, and you don't need anyone to like bow to, or like all this new age stuff, and the people in the spiritual community that they are like devoted to some like gurus or to crystals or to, no, you don't need any of that. You can access all the informations through the portal of your heart. When you start buying into all the stuff of the mind. That's why there is such a big emphasis as well, like being put on like making sure that you empty your head, the thoughts. There's something what I wanted to add to this construct we are in. So the pickup what I was seeing in here, I think that it's like an option for a lot of us are as well having a contract with extraterrestrials, because some of us are coming from there, but it's not gonna be for everyone, that's just for some people, because some people were as well a part of the abduction agenda, but that's not the same spacecraft, that would be a different beings that they took advantage of our DNA. But there was definitely some like interference in here, or like agreements or were made to create a new type of a races based on our DNA. So there are a new races. So what I am tapping into most likely is one of the races I am part of. So that's not gonna be for absolutely everyone, okay? I just don't want you to think that you're gonna be sitting on the couch and waiting that somebody is gonna save us. No, that's not the case. Some people are gonna go completely out of the construct. They're gonna decide what they're gonna be doing, because there is infinite amount of the earths under this umbrella, under this construct. I mean, the entire 12 planes or 12 planes of existence, because how we gonna get into the new constructs is that construct is gonna bleed into your life. More you're gonna be hanging around in this area. You know, suddenly you start having so much magic and everything is gonna be falling into your lap, so that it's gonna come like a, it's gonna come intersect. The reality is gonna blend. The new reality is gonna blend into your life. You're not gonna be taken and like being put on another another type of earth. Or maybe we will. Another thing I got as well that I forgot in here is that since the shift started in November 2019, the other message what was there I got the 7 years from the shift. This November it's gonna be 4 years we are working through this realm. So we've got 3 more years left before this probably is gonna be completely unstable and we gonna really start seeing the changes. So what we are doing in here, like we are recognizing this and choosing something better. There is so many good constructs as well in here. I don't think they exist actually in here. They exist more in here. You know, like there is good things as well. You know, Silva method, let's say, you know, like instead of, let's say, yoga, there is so many binaural beats. You can choose a different type of meditations that are gonna get you into the meditative state and like allowing more of these realms to leak into your awareness or leak into your life and having more magic as well. So there is a lot of different good tools as well that we can choose, but we still have to recognize how much limitation we placed on our mind and how much limitation was placed on our mind by our ancestors, a family lineage, and this kind of stuff. You know, and the food has this beautiful ability, like, you know, people, the spiritual community is so touchy on the subject of the food. It really pisses me off, but you know, the food is the most easiest thing to pick up that can really enhance your life. Everything would change through the food. Everything can, like it changed for me at least a lot. So I'm such a big advocate of the like a food and the shadow work, because like the change I went through past 6 years is ginormous. I cannot even recognize my old self, which I cannot even identify myself that I was actually born in to the family like that and had those experiences. I cannot even, it's like this distant, very distant memory for me. It's like it completely, that it seems to me that someone else actually went through it. It's not me. So I just want to clarify that. And as well here, the ascended masters are those who actually manage to break out from this and break out from the construct, you know. And I think the yogis, that architect could be like probably considered as well or one of those beings could be considered as well Shiva. Like, you know, I mean, we have the symbology on the earth plane almost in every type of like religion, culture. You know, it's all there. The messages about all these constructs are all there practically. We just not seeing it, or they are having a different type of names. But so this is another clarification in here what I wanted to do. So we've got 3 years left, so we're gonna be probably working for this, but you might notice already now this year is starting to be a little bit easier. It's more creative. I did this drawing, which I am in the middle, and it's not ready yet, but this is leaving of the construct. And you know, like a lot of the messages I'm getting are actually coming through my work, from my artwork. That's why I know what is happening as well in the construct. It's not a more visual, so the way I am getting the messages, it's different than some other people are, like the psychic messages. So there is a big exit of this realm what we are playing in at the moment. And all these people, what I was saying about all these riches in here, the people who mastered the financial or the business, stuff, those are those who are doing the good work. Those are who are like using the money as a tool to enslave the others or creating a products that are bullshit. They still exist in here, and I'm seeing a lot of people playing in some like sort of herbal stuff. Especially like, you have to be aware of the fact that like this game got so clever, so clever. Like they using even the spiritual community to creating a different type of little realms within the realms that where you can play in, but they still disempowering you. All these products, especially the organic and like the bio and everything what is like herbal, is becoming a huge business. It's the same like avocado, that's became a ginormous business. So you have to be aware of as well the these things, these traps that are there. Even they having this code of, oh, this is a great product, and then you start using it because you believe that you need to do something with your gut flora, because you believe that your colon gets blocked. And that's another bullshit. Like, it's just nothing to do with it. you know so pay attention to what you believe as well, in those so-called new age and the spiritual kind of realms, what we believe to be true. You have to always check with yourself, always, because I'm seeing people like doing things just for the sake of money, but using the spiritual code to it. The dream state is becoming intense and you are solving a lot of the stuff in the dream state. And what you can do actually is working with the dreams. I think I mentioned it many times, how to work with the dream state. So before you go sleep, you set an intention that, okay, I want to see the truth of, let's say, this relationship and what have been working through. And like, I want to have a dream that will help me to understand what I'm not seeing in here. And I want to remember it. And believe me, you will wake up in the middle of the night out of it and you will remember it. You just have to set that intention, so you can clean up your subconscious. Working with the subconscious is great. This is the great way, because before you go sleep, if you do some preparation before you go sleep, you can easier remember your dreams. And it might take a little bit of practice, but you can deconstruct a lot of things through there for sure. Another thing I forgot to mention here is all the higher dimensional beings, fairies, and all these also old civilizations, Mayans who actually did the shift out of this construct out, they all exist in here. We don't see them because we are in here, but you have access to them. You can like do something they call astral travel, but so far the astral plane changed because we are undergoing this like restructuring of this template. So this changed, but like all of these civilizations actually exists in here, outside of our reach. So that's why we're not seeing them. So it's important that they did not disappear. They are all in here, all of them. You can all access every single thing, even something they call Akashic records, But for accessing the Akashic records, the requirement is the purity of the heart. So a lot of people are accessing the Akashic records for a different type of reasons. So it's not necessarily something that you need another like being to bring you in there. Of course, those guides, like our guides, or we call them our guides. I rather call them the galactic team, because you have to as well starting thinking about yourself as equal to those beings who are operating a little bit outside of our realm, you know. You are the same powerful. Otherwise you wouldn't be here. You are actually, they did not choose to incarnate in here. Some did, let's say. That's why the material, let's say, from Bashar is so powerful and so good, because he had the experience as a human. They did the shift, and how they shift into from being physical to becoming quasi-physical, they did it through the lucid dreaming. A lot of the Mayans and other civilizations, that they disappeared and they are actually in the other planes of existence, or in the multiverse, in like on a different types of earths, or like maybe they having their own realm, you know, where they are actually operating on, which exists inside of the all of this construct, but in the higher planes, because it has a different frequency. So here we got the lowest frequency ever. Well, there are those dark realms, the minus, as I call them, you know, and they are that they were operating in our plane for a lot, and they still in here, but they are leaving. They are just, it's not stable. You have to start thinking about yourself as like even more powerful than they are, because you had that experience as a human. It's a very difficult experience. A lot of the ITs who are higher dimensionals, like Arcturians, for example, and they are like 9D plus. You know, Cassiopeians are here. Let's say Prince, the singer, was a Cassiopeian. If I remember well, I had some beautiful journey with those beings. When I started to learn how to astro travel with Lorilat, I did a lot of the journeys with her, which were fascinating. You know, I met Lyrians and all kind of other beings, and they all do kind of a things on you. Let's say Orions can a little bit check your body, you know, and adjust your earthly vessel. But it's very intense experience as well, because it's they are higher, it's energetic, you know. So it's not easy, but you can have beautiful experiences with all the different type of beings, but you have to stop looking up to them as like someone who is not, who, that they are separate from you, because they are you, they are aspect of you. The same, like, you know, you hear in the spiritual community, oh, the Pleiadians. No, they are a part of the game. They are, first of all, you have a contract with them, most likely, if you are hanging around with them. That's because they are you, they are aspect of you as well. If you are able to actually have, if you already having those like experiences, that's because you are either part of that group, you know, and you are projecting yourself. A lot of us are projecting ourselves, part of our consciousness, let's say from the earthcraft or spacecraft, into the human body. So larger part of the consciousness exists in here. Your part of the consciousness exists in here. A lot of us got caught up in this like bullshit in here, so we have to always remember that they are your kind of friends. They are a family. They're your family. They are not someone you have to bow to. You are the same powerful being like anyone else on the earth plane. And that's why a lot of the bullshit in here, like even in the spiritual community, is as well designed to disempower you. You know, you have to bow to this guru, you have to, all these angels and things. No. You have the same powers that they do. You know, we are just cluttered by all the limitations which we are buying into constantly. That was one thing. Another thing, helping the vessel. Check on your minerals intake. Sea salt and Himalayan salt is really good to put in your diet. Algae, any type of like spirulina, kale, and all these seaweed things is very good to keep putting in your body. Potassium, because we need to watch out the energetics as well. And of course, cleaning the distortion from the energetics is like becoming completely empty, so that more of the higher consciousness, wherever it's coming from, can operate more in your body. And because it's a higher frequency as well, then you need to support a little bit the container that can exist inside of you, and you will feel it like physically, energetically, but like it's a physical sensation you will have inside of the body. If you clean up a little bit of more of this clutter and you make a space in here, you will feel it, that something larger is gonna move inside of you. I had this feeling many times. So this way you become more and more aware of the higher aspects of you that are operating inside. It's gonna be more seamless communication between you and your inner being, like a greater being. You have to be a little bit more in your heart and less in your mind, obviously. And yeah, I'm just kind of thinking what else I can say. Yeah, the diet. I know that the diet matters. Yeah, I wrote it all down. I know that we have to watch out for the minerals, magnesium, potassium, iron. Sprouts, let's say, is a great source of all the vitamins. There's a beautiful and amazing types of food, but you don't have to eat so much, what you call it, supplements, but I'm eating as well supplements on top of that, because the ground is exhausted, like the earth soil is exhausted, so it's not as powerful, the intake what we can get from the food. So it's good to like fetch in like some sort of like extra vitamins that helps you. And also, let's say, neem helps restructuring the cells. So, and distilled water, a lot of water. Somebody is drinking salty water. Let's say I use a lot of Himalayan salt. I have these big cubes which I just put it in my mouth, and I'm just like not chewing it, but I just roll it in until it disappears, and I can feel straight the changes, and it helps. The salt helps a lot. So that's what you can do for sure. I will write a full list about that we have a little bit more of some food thing that we can stick in the body. Let's say quinoa is really good for the minerals, to put it in the body at the moment. What else? Oh yeah, the alternative timelines. If you noticed, I think in my old updates, one of the updates, I think it was in November, December last year, a lot of things changed for a lot of us. And some like a alternative solution was created for you, that you can work through some stuff. And that brings me as well back into the reality within the reality. Let's say we moved in that time. So I'm working through the breaking up of the old contracts, and the relationship and the trauma which I didn't know I have. Our dog died in the new place when we are at the moment. So and with him died the contract that I had with the father of my daughter. So I'm working through some of this, because there is a huge pattern in the family that all the women were enslaved by their man and were emotionally abused. And I start seeing it in here, like all these like gaslighting and the codependency and passive aggressive behaviors. And I was questioning my reality, and like the financial abuse as well, like it's running in the family like crazy. So I'm working through all these in the new place. That's why I know that some alternative stuff was created for each and one of us that can work through certain, lessons that we have. But honestly, I do not believe anymore that we came here for lessons. That was probably when we were still going through this recycling process, like a lot of people a lot of the star seeds and a lot of other souls that were like on the karmic wheel, constantly recycling themselves here over and over, like thousands and thousands of the years. They probably did have some karmic agreements that I have to work through, but I believe that, actually I don't believe it, but I am sure that that's cancelled. That doesn't matter anymore. We are wrapping things up, so now we need to just recognize this, recognize all of the other limitations or like stuff what we were playing in, and let it go. So alternative timelines and alternative like reality bubbles were created for you, where you can explore your own constructs that you created with the people. You know, we were working through a woundedness, childhood trauma, a lot of traumatic pieces actually were we were deconstructing since the new year. And a lot of you, with the people, you have usually a person, let's say you've got a husband, all right? With him, you've got another reality, and then that would be another video about like the reality within the reality, how you are, let's say, experiencing this. I would have to do a separate video for that. Yeah. So that happened, I will do that later. That happened since, I think in November, there were some changes, and you probably maybe you moved back to your parents and you're working for something through, like, you know, like a not being seen, you know, victimhood. Like there is a lot of the low vibrational stuff we are working through. So you are still on like a one ascension timeline. We are all there are two timelines, one destructive one and one the positive one. We are all on the positive one. I mean, a lot of you here on this video are on the positive one, obviously. And the destructive one is this one. It's the artificial intelligence one. It's getting really crazy out there, you guys. Like, you know, now even in the art world, you know, now you go art generated by AI. I was checking, I noticed that a lot of tarot cards, new tarot cards are being created for €60, and it's generated by the artificial intelligence. And people just go to this app, you know, you can spend there like 2-3 hours, generate like 50-60 cards and make your own deck. Very easy. Okay, but it's soulless. I did some pictures I want to see how it looked like. It's something, the essence is missing there. It's strange. So, you know, the world is gonna be changing. You can see that the internet marketing is run by the AI. Books are being created by AI. People are taking advantage of this like machine that can build a lot of profit. So a lot of money, like the people are gonna be investing so much into this, getting richer and richer and richer. The poorer are gonna be getting poorer and poorer. But like, yeah, everyone's choice, obviously. No, there is a millions of the ways how you can actually make money online now when the AI is there. You just go there, choose the app, create art, sell it, done. You know, you can do that. They can create courses, they can create like books, they can create anything you want. But like if you check it out, it's soulless. There is this essence of the human is so missing in it. So be very careful about getting caught up in this. I mean, AI is a part of the evolution. You know, even extraterrestrials are using artificial intelligence to power their craft, but it's a sentient. The artificial intelligence here is very different. And I had an experience when I was reversing the effects of all of us caught the bug, and I got completely messed up. Like I remember that I had a very hard time energetically. So I was reversing it with the extraterrestrials in these like healing chambers with Arcturians. I did this journey I invite them in. I was preparing myself for it, like energetically, that I could actually have some interaction with them. They can check my body and do some reverse stuff. It was quite difficult, but it was it was very interesting experience I had, and I know that I used artificial intelligence, but their artificial intelligence, not the one that was created here with the humans. All right. Because this artificial intelligence, what was created in here, is using as well that, the negative pull. So this could be used both ways, negatively and positively. We have to be very careful what we are doing, you know, because they are gonna be part of like the world, like where we are, like the future, sort of. Oh, one more thing. You might be feeling like you don't have any desire to create anything new, because we really need a new world to be able to create something new. I'm having the same kind of a feeling. I'm like, why I'm doing what I'm doing, why I'm making the deck, what is it for, why it matters. So if you're in that space, try to not lose, like, you know, don't get into like pitying yourself or like a doom and gloom, you know. Don't get into those spaces. Just remember that this is disappearing, so at the moment it's gonna be a big mess, and we have another like about 3.5 years left, that also this has to play out. So we're gonna have the IT contact, the entire Earth plane is gonna see this. And it's very cool because like Bashar was saying, I caught up this little message from Bashar that this timeline is crystallized for about like a 93%. So this is gonna happen. It's inevitable. So that's what is gonna be happening, and the time frame for that is 2026 and 2027. So it's this as well is the 7 years from the shift, practically. Yeah. So that's kind of gonna be exciting, because then a lot of people are gonna lose their minds. So it's gonna be really interesting. Okay, see you next time, guys. Bye.